About 2 years ago, some of our team was visiting a farm and speaking with a farmer who said to us, I'd be more likely to support a farmer who is in transition to organic than someone who was already organic. Because I know as a farmer just how difficult that transition period is. And so for us as a company, it was our light bulb moment. We went back to the office and said, how can we illuminate this journey for consumers? To scale, it had to be bigger than us. We want this to be bigger than Kashi. We never wanted this to just be about us because we know that that will help fuel organic farmland over time.
What I loved the most about the Kashi model was that the consumer was part of the solution. Because as somebody who gets in front of these consumers every single day and in front of parents every single day, the question I always get is, what can I do? This is brilliant because you're letting somebody put love into action. If I'm 100% all in organic, I'm still gonna buy one of those boxes because it's gonna help a guy like Rich. The second part that I loved was that they weren't trying to own it exclusively all out for Kashi. And as a consumer, I thought, okay, this is a team. We're a team trying to transition these farmlands. And when everybody asks, what can I do, what can I do? The more we see that logo on products, the faster we're gonna get that 1% to 5% to 10% to 20%.
It's absolutely a game changer for our operation. I mean, it comes down to an equation of penciling it out. I do understand, the reluctance of conventional farmers making that leap. It's a much more difficult way of farming. You have to have a really solid organic system plan, well thought out in advance, because there's no quick fixes later.
As a farmer's daughter, I have seen the fact that farmers are by nature thinkers and tinkerers, and they like to innovate. My dad has owned the farm since the year I was born, and he said, you know what? I really am like a person on an assembly line when you're in conventional agriculture, because you're just putting widgets together. There wasn't any real innovation. You just did what you were told. You followed that cookbook. The consumer side of things is driving some changes, but there's also a lot of farmers that are driving those changes because they want something more. In order to be able to get people to come back to the farm, it needs to be fun again. Soil is really the foundation of everything, and as we learn more about the human microbiome and the connections between the food we're eating and how the organisms in our gut are processing that food and being able to utilize that food, it's also driving those connections to what we're seeing in the soil.
It was the hippie time, in the 70s, so there were many sort of food for thought and stores where you could find really more natural food. Later at the restaurant, I had to continue doing that and stay in the organic mood. It was very, very difficult to find organic food, and I remember waiting for once a week. The truck came from California with some organic produce. And I became certified organic in 1999, and I could not have done it any day earlier. A program like that would really, encourage them. One of the big hurdles, I think, in organic food is the price for many people. And I think the more farmers grow organic, the cheaper it will get, and the more people can afford it. And I think it should be food that everybody can afford.